It was also in November when my ex-boyfriend let me know that his daughter in California was turning 13. And he said that she wanted some type of virtual reality glasses, and they were $150 or something like that. And I felt like the reason why he mentioned the price to me and her birthday was because he might need some financial assistance with it. So I was like, let's just address the elephant in the room. I was like, so are you gonna get it for her? Do you have it all covered? Do you have enough to get everything? Keep in mind, I'm considering the fact that this man is a single father and that he goes to school full-time and that he works overnight part-time. So I took all of those things into consideration, and I wanted to make sure that I was as attentive as possible, because my financial issues are not the same as the next person's. Everyone is the same. When you say you're broke, it might mean that your account is in the negatives. When I say I'm broke, it means that I can't have DoorDash today. So I did ask him, I said, hey, do you need any help with that? Like, are you good? And he was like, I do think I need some help with it. So I Zelled him $100 towards her birthday gift. Because if you're gonna get that, you gotta also consider the tax. You want to get a card, you know what I mean? And it didn't really mean it wasn't a big deal to me. It was just a nice gesture, you know? And the kind gestures that he did and had with me were big enough to me that this was something that I did feel like was a reasonable response. You know what I mean? And as a single parent, I totally understand. Birthdays, we can plan for them, and sometimes things just don't go the way that we want them to. So I did give him money for her birthday gift. I didn't say, hey, tell her it's from me. She doesn't even know me. I didn't say sign my name in the card or anything like that, but I did help him with her birthday gift. In December, I had to get an oral extraction done. And he took me to my appointment, and he stayed with me there for my appointment. When I came out, my face was like super swollen. I was in so much pain. And when I get oral extractions or when I bleed just period, my clotting time is not within normal range. It takes a lot longer. So he took me to Walgreens and we got a bunch of extra gauze, brought me home. We got a bunch of whatever it was I could actually tolerate to eat. He stayed that night with me as well. And obviously the boys, they were with me because he had temporary custody of them. They were home. And he stayed up with me for the greater majority of the night, just making sure I was okay. I actually saturated a pillow with blood because I fell asleep. And the blood was absorbed with the cotton in my mouth. And I needed to change it, but I was asleep. It was finally comfortable, and it got over the pillow. But he helped me change everything and made sure that I ate and that I took my medication. He was there basically nursing me back to health. I do not recall us spending Christmas together. No, I worked on Christmas. So we didn't spend Christmas together, but I did work on Christmas. Everything was normal. There was nothing that was a cause for concern. Every time I called him, he answered. He always called me back. We even did video chats from time to time. We went out frequently together. We were really always together. We were always together. It was a rarity for him to go a day or two without seeing me, but we were always together. And I would always cook for him if I wasn't ordering fast food. Because I knew that I made more money than he did at the time, and I was going to eat anyway, I didn't mind making sure that when he was over, that he was well fed. And because of my crazy work schedule, again, I'm an agency nurse. I'm working day shift, night shift. It intertwines. Sometimes you're doing 24-hour shifts. Sometimes your schedule changes abruptly. All my shifts at minimum have always been 12 hours. And so sometimes ordering fast food was just way more convenient for my lifestyle. But everybody ate. I always made sure everyone ate. I made sure that I avoided buying anything that he had a food allergy to, and I did ask him about food allergies. And eventually, slowly but surely, he was here all the time. He was here all the time. And we would run our errands together. There wasn't anything publicly that we could not go to. We weren't hiding or anything like that. There was nothing weird. There was no red flags. Nothing was weird. Nothing was so weird that it was like, are you up to something? Nothing like that at all. I remember at the end of December, my ex-boyfriend had suggested that I utilize this extra iPhone that he had on his plan. And he also gave me an iWatch too. He told me that he had this iPhone and this iWatch added to his AT&T plan months ago for his business partner because they were doing some kind of business transaction. They were opening up something or they were starting something and it fell through. So he had them, but he'd already put them on his contract and he was financing them. So he was paying the bill for them and no one was using it. It was just going to waste. So he specifically told me, why don't you use the iPhone? You have an Android and you can make better content with it. It's more clear, it's better quality. So the sole purpose of him giving me the iPhone was so I could make better content, better quality content. So I was like, okay. And because it was an iPhone and he was giving it to me, I was like, well, how much is the bill? Because if you're giving me this iPhone, are you gonna pay the bill for it every month too? Like you have been doing? And he was like, I would like if you could pay the bill. So at the same time, because I already had my own phone, my own contract, and I was still paying my own phone bill, I was like, okay, well, so spend an additional $200 every month on a phone, or just keep my phone plan in my phone and just, you know what I mean? Like, just use what I've been using. But he had stressed to me that, he had really, really stressed to me that the cost of that phone was just eating up so much money. It was just killing him every month because he was paying for it, again, financing it, and it wasn't going to use. Like, nothing was happening with it. Had things worked out between his business partner and himself, they would have been paying the bill. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can get my money's worth. Let me just use this iPhone, make content, use it to its full capacity because that was the purpose of it being given to me in the first place. And maybe in the long run, somehow, some way, I will eventually get my money back in the future. It's an investment. So I said, yeah. The first bill that was due, he asked me for $300. And I was just like, is there anything else on this plan? That's very expensive for my half of the bill to be $300. So I'm just doing math and I'm like, so you pay $600 a month? Because he also had an iPhone and an iWatch. And he was like, I forgot what he had said, but it was just like sketchy. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I owed him $300. I'm thinking in my mind, all right, we are in the clear. I don't have to pay again for a whole nother month. 2 weeks later, he sent me the phone bill. And he says, don't forget this is due on the 25th. And I call him like, excuse me? I just gave you $300 2 weeks ago. Why would I give you $200 more 2 weeks later? What am I paying for exactly? And he went through the roof. He came over to my house and we were arguing and I was like, I just want to see the bill. I want to see the plan because I'm very confused about why I would be spending $500 in a month on a phone bill in your fucking name. What portion is yours to pay? Like, this is insane. And on the one hand, I was already irritated because I had already spent $300 on this phone. If I wanted an iPhone, I would have bought myself an iPhone. And when I asked him about jailbreaking the iPhone, because at first I thought he was just giving it to me and I could put it on my plan, he was like, actually, no, because it's under contract on my plan. So I was like, okay, fair, whatever. And he showed me the bill, and that's when it all came together. Basically, he was actually behind on his bill and had a payment arrangement. So the money that I was paying was actually bringing him up to date.